Hello and welcome back to the SZN Football Podcast. We are back. It's been a long time. It's been long. All right, it has been long. I will say that. We've been very busy. We've been very busy. But this time we come back with hopefully a bigger audience because since the last time we went live on air, the SNS army has gone strong. It's gone strong. So of course I am back with the man, the myth, the legend. That is Morgan, mate. How you doing?
I'm not bad, mate. Excited to be back. How are you?
Yeah, mate. Can life be any better at this point? Can life be any better as an England fan?
No, it can't. It really can't. Fantastic tournament so far for England. I'm sure we'll get more into it. But yeah, high as a kite at the moment, and hopefully that kite doesn't fall down anytime soon because by Wednesday it could have well and truly fell on the floor. So yeah, let's hope. Let's hope.
Well, hey, I've been optimistic, and I've been positive the whole tournament. I said we beat Germany. I said we beat Ukraine, and etc. I'm still positive. So yeah, hopefully we can get the job done tomorrow. But of course, it's great to be back. It's great to be doing one of these because we haven't done one of these in a while, have we?
No, it's been a long time. New jobs and all sorts. Coaching mainly has just completely killed my timetable and my time to do stuff. But we're back, and yeah, let's make this a cracker because I'm sure people have been wanting to see our lovely faces and hear our lovely opinions as always.
Well, I know we're also live on TikTok at the same time, so I know you guys that are on TikTok, come on over to the YouTube. I'll probably switch it off now, but you guys on TikTok have been going strong on the live, so I really do appreciate you. So I'll end the TikTok live now because we'll stay live on YouTube. Happy days. Right, that's that done. Let's get this show on the road. We've got a couple comments in. Let's just get them up. Corey, mate, how you doing? It's good for you joining in, and Lincoln as well. Really do appreciate the boys coming over from the old TikTok. There's no really better place to start than with this question, and like I said, we're going to start with it. Is football coming home?
Do you know what? Right, obviously, me and you have had a fair bit of conversations throughout the tournament. Away from this, and you'll have to take my word on this, but I have literally called everything that has happened in this Euros so far. I will even go as far to throw my neck on the line and say I was calling for three at the back against Scotland to go toe to toe with them. And my manager at work, because obviously working in a coaching environment now, I had a lot of funny looks when I said that. And after that game, the next morning that I saw him, he was like, "Do you know what, mate? You should go and manage with the FA," because he was like, how you've come up with that and actually justified how and perfectly planned out how the Scotland game was going to go. Because I said we won't beat Scotland. I said it'd be a tough game because I didn't think we'd cope with their three at the back. And credit to Southgate, mate, because he has his critics, but I tell you what, he's played every single game apart from that Scotland game perfectly. And that Germany game, when we went three at the back, and again, I said the same thing. Any team that we play against that play with a three at the back, the best way to go against them tactically is to match them. And we saw that in the Premier League with Pep Guardiola and Thomas Tuchel, especially with Pep's formation in possession. Tuchel went match for match with him, and look what happened. They won a Champions League from it. We look so much more assured. Like that Germany game, we looked like a top side. That Germany game was the first time in my lifetime that I've sat there and gone, we're a top team. We're a team that people fear. And one thing that can't be disputed is our clean sheet record. I mean, hats off to... I want to give a special mention to Harry Maguire because Mings was brilliant in the first two games, but I think Maguire has come in and shown how good he actually is. and there's levels of a centre back, and Maguire is definitely a level ahead. How he penetrates the opposition and moves us going forward is undeniable, absolutely undeniable. Luke Shaw has been insane. I think personally he's been our player of the tournament. Just everyone, apart from me, for Kyle Walker, I think everyone defensively has been spot on in this tournament. Pickford's had a sensational tournament, and look, we've got 2 tough games now. If we get to the final, Denmark for me are going to be a real test, real test, because we haven't seen this England side go a goal down yet. We haven't seen this England side concede a goal yet, and how they react to that. Denmark are a strong side, very strong side, and I think the whole motive of their tournament is obviously behind Christian Eriksen, and they're going to be bang up for it. And for me, it screams a bit Croatia vibes, where, you know, we cruised through the tournament, everything was looking so great, and then Croatia hit us, a half-decent side, and we flopped a bit. But I'm hoping that Southgate's learned from that, and we see a more complete England performance. And look, one thing that can't be overrode is the fact that no team has ever gone into a tournament and kept 5 consecutive clean sheets and not conceded until the semi-final. That's an unbelievable achievement. However, we've got to turn that into success. It's all well and good breaking these records. England need... This is our time. Southgate messed it up back in the World Cup. This is his second chance. This is where he has literally got France out, Netherlands out, Belgium out. All the big boys, apart from, for me, Italy, are gone. We have to win this tournament, especially playing both games at Wembley. This is our tournament to win. And I'm just hoping that our young talent that has got us so far, you know, brilliantly, can perform now in the 2 biggest games of their careers, because it's all well and good doing everything up to the, you know, semi-finals like we did in the World Cup, but we flopped. That's the only bit that fears me, is that, you know, Croatia are very similar in you know, to Denmark, where they've got a side that are coming into their prime, and, you know, the incentive of playing for Christian Eriksen is also, for me, going to balance out the playing field. But yeah, that's my opinion so far, really. I think football, to answer the question, because I haven't answered it yet, football, do you know what? Football is coming home. I think we'll beat Denmark. I think it'll be a very tight game, like the Germany game. I think we will go with a back 3 to match Denmark, because I think it works so well against Germany, and that can push Luke Shaw on further, which happy days. Trippier will probably come back in as well, potentially, if he's not injured. Other than that, Reece James. But we'll then go into a final, I think, against Italy, who, for me, that could go down to penalties, because I think England and Italy are so matched. So matched. I think both teams have been phenomenal this tournament, and it's going to be a really tough game. I definitely think we've got more reinforcements than them. That might be the difference. I think we've got a lot more talent on our bench. I think in terms of squad depth, I think we actually have the best squad at the Euros. Looking across everyone else, I mean, the talent we've got from the bench is just ridiculous. So, yeah, I think it will come home, but I think it will be really tight in the final against a strong Italy side. And fingers crossed the boys bring it home, because what an achievement that would be in our lifetime.
Oh, 100%. We've got Patrick. Hi, mate. How you doing? Corey says it's coming home. Mustafa says it's coming home. Look, I've said it's coming home from the beginning. I've said it's coming home, and I'm going to keep saying football's coming home. This is from game 1 against Croatia. I said it's coming home till we get knocked out or till we win it. And then obviously if you win it, you know, we're going to be saying it even more, aren't we? But I agree with you. I think the Scotland game was a pivotal point. And of course, in the comments, get your thoughts. It is football coming home. What would your starting 11 be against Denmark on Wednesday night? Get in the comments, you know, we'll read them out, etc. Dex, appreciate it, mate. He's liked the video. do what Dex has done, like the video, sub to us, appreciate all that good stuff. But for me, the Scotland game was pivotal because we come off that high against Croatia, we played Scotland, we drew 0-0, which isn't a terrible result, but the way we played, it was kind of a bad result. And I think from then it was like, right, we're a good team, but we need to have a different level if we want to really progress and really do well in this tournament. Czech Republic, yeah, we won the game. It wasn't the enthralling performance we were all expecting after the Scotland game, but then that Germany game was unbelievable. And like you said, playing the three at the back matched it. I thought they had a few chances, like Muller going through and Werner having a couple of chances. But apart from that, I thought we were pretty solid. And the 2 goals were fantastic. Grealish, come on, your boy, changed the game, and he's done it, and he could be one of the best super subs I think at the Euros because he's only started the one game, which is mental. He's only started one game, but yeah, look, is football coming home? Let's just answer the question. Yes, you have to believe it's coming home with the both games being at Wembley, with all the big boys out. I said at the beginning of the tournament, there's 4 favourites for me to win this. There's 4 favourites. Belgium, France, Portugal, and England. They were the 4 for me that I think one of them will win it. We're the only ones left out of them 4. Surprisingly, you'd have to say, because, would you have said England, could win this tournament? Yeah, but how much of that was actually, we can actually win it, or was it just optimism, if you know what I mean? But like you said, the clean sheets, the defending we've had, it's been magnificent. And we have to say, coming into the tournament, we were like, oh, we've got so much attacking flair. Are we going to be able to cope defensively? And we've kept 5 clean sheets, of which Mings has been playing for 2 of them games. Then Maguire's had to come back from a bit of a lengthy injury and slot straight back in, and he's done so. And, I think we're getting better and better with each game, which is something you need now going into a semi and to hopefully a final. But with Kane as well, when he wasn't hitting form, I was like, if he can have a reverse to what he had at the World Cup, where at the World Cup he started strong, but then from Colombia onwards, he was a bit meh. Let's be real here. If he can have that meh part, at the beginning, but then from the Germany game onwards in the knockout games, he starts hitting form, teams are in trouble because we topped our group. We haven't lost. We haven't conceded without Kane really scoring. Now he's scoring, and that's a problem for teams now. That's a problem. And you've seen it with the Ukraine game. Denmark, I agree, is going to be a tough game. I know Patrick's in the comments. I believe he's a Denmark fan. So it's going to be a tough game, and they're on that high. They've absolutely blown teams out of the water, the likes of Russia, Wales, maybe not so much Czech Republic, but it was still a good win for them. And they're in a semi-final, and no team gets to a semi-final without playing poorly. But one thing I wanted to say to you is, you said it could be similar to the World Cup when we played Croatia. Do you think the only difference now is that we're probably going into this game maybe the favourites, and against Croatia we weren't? Because for me, that would be the only sort of difference in mentality, is that I think against Denmark, England are massive, well, not massively, but England would be favourites. Against Croatia, I don't think we was in the World Cup. But thoughts on that? Because that's the only difference I can see between last semi-final in the World Cup and this semi-final is we'd be the favourites against Denmark. With all due respect to Denmark, I think the bookies would say England are the favourites to win this game.
I think what's different for me is that we've now got a lot of players that have experienced failure at a tournament. So if you look at that starting 11, Stone, Pickford, Maguire, Kane, Sterling, you've got some big characters in there who were part of that World Cup team, and they started the game.
Walker
Walker as well. There's a lot of boys within that squad that have experienced that failure. And I have no doubt in my mind that every single one of them will be briefing the younger players and the less experienced players on what not to do. And I'd be very disappointed if we made the same mistakes that we did last time. I think the talent that we have now, not only on the pitch, but off it to come on, let's be real. Let's be realistic here. England should be blowing Denmark out the water. We should be absolutely destroying this Denmark side because we have literally got the most golden generation of talent I think I've ever seen. Like, I know we haven't been alive for long, but people say that the era that we had Scholesy, Lampard, Gerrard, Rooney, like all them players, Man United have just signed a guy who literally only played his first full game of the tournament, yet like the last game, right, for 80 million. We've got a player on our bench who's apparently worth 150 million in Jack Grealish. We've got Phil Foden, who's apparently worth 130 million. It's ridiculous. Like, our squad is like France's years ago, where for me, then we're now destroying teams, and it doesn't matter who you put in it. Like, we've seen Saka this tournament, we've seen Grealish, we've seen Sancho, we've seen Sterling. Like, I think, and this may be an unpopular opinion, I don't think Southgate is an attacking genius at all. I think he is a defensive genius. I don't think all of the attacking play that we are seeing is Southgate's coaching. What I do think it is the players that we've got are just that good. They know how to create in situations. They know how to act in certain situations. Like, no one's telling me that combination of Sterling cutting inside, Kane setting it back to Grealish, Grealish playing a perfectly weighted ball to Shaw, and Shaw cutting it across for Kane to finish. No one's telling, or I think it was Sterling to finish, sorry, against Germany. I don't think that Southgate combination. I think that is just the intricacy and the brilliance of the players that we've actually got. And now this isn't me disrespecting Southgate at all, because I think defensively, what an unreal job he's done. Honestly,
just
I've
on
never
that point,
seen.
just on that point, mate. Like Dexter said in the comments here, can't believe we haven't received this whole tournament so far. That's impressive. It's 100% coming home, and I have to agree because going into this tournament, we were like, look at all our attacking players. Look at everyone we've got. However, we've only got really Stones and Maguire, of which Maguire's injured, which means Mings has to play. I don't think we're going to be able to cope defensively. 5 clean sheets.
We have been really, really strong at the back, and I think what Southgate has done perfectly is he's built the foundations so that we physically can't lose, because we've got that much attacking talent that someone is going to create something in 90 minutes. Like, the likelihood of us creating a chance that's going to lead to a goal in 90 minutes is pretty high because we've got so much talent going forward. But even if they have an off day, we're not conceding going the other way, which helps them attacking players to play with a bit more freedom and try and attempt things that they necessarily wouldn't do if they didn't think they had a sound defence for them. I think Saka has benefited massively from that, because Saka, the first 2 games that he come in, look at the confidence that he had. He knew that he had a defence behind him that he could trust, which then meant that he could expose the teams that he was playing. He could penetrate more often. He didn't have to worry as such about his defensive responsibilities, because he knew that we were going to be so sound as soon as that transition happens. So he took more risks, and look what happened. And it's like Dex said there, I do think just based on the individuals. I do think that Germany game, and people can call me biased, Jack Grealish changed that game. He changed that game. He won us that game. The ball to Luke Shaw, for the weight of that pass for Luke Shaw to ping it across, and that ball to Harry Kane, he changed that game. We've got individuals who can just do that.
He was lucky with the cross because it was a little bit behind Kane. Kane saved him a little bit.
But that's with his weak foot. And for me, no other player that we've got individually out of Saka, Foden, Mount, Sterling, play that ball onto Kane's head like that. I honestly don't think that they could have. What Southgate's done is certain games have called for certain individuals. Like that Ukraine game was perfect for Sancho, and he justified it. The first game was perfect for Foden, and he played really well. The game against Czech Republic was perfect for Grealish. He come on and got an assist, and he did really well. And Saka as well. Everyone that's come in has been very justified. It's mental, really, because people don't associate Southgate with being this tactical genius and preserving players. But what he's done is phenomenal, because we've got a fully fit Grealish, we've got a fully fit Foden, we've got a fully fit Mount, we've got a fully fit Saka, we've got a fully fit Sterling. We haven't got anyone running on empty, which is what I think past England managers have failed on. I think because we didn't have so much talent, we almost had the 11 picked itself. Now, no one knows what the 11 is. No one knows what formation we're going to play. No one knows what personnel it's going to be. But what we do know is that we're defensively solid, and whoever plays in that forward line have got the talent at any given moment to punish an opposition that overexpose themselves.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think this tournament has been fantastic. And look, if they bring it home, it'd be unbelievable.
What an achievement.
Every single player in that team has played their part.
I mean, no one's done it before. No English team has ever won a European Championship. So they'd be history makers, wouldn't they? And it'd be the first tournament win since '66. And I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, because we're still two massive games away from winning anything or getting close to winning anything. But the thought of it is just ridiculous. And I get a lot, well, not a lot of stick, but in the TikTok lives, whatever, it's like, oh, you got an easy group, or why are you bigging stuff up? And it's like, well, if your country won a major tournament, you're not going to sit there and just clap, are you? You're going to go a bit mental about it, aren't you? So it is what it is. Like, it's mental to try and get your head around.
Italy had an easy group. Like, Italy had Wales, Switzerland, and who else was in their group? There's three of them: Wales, Switzerland, and Turkey.
Who underperformed.
Exactly. Like, Italy have had a shocking group. Like, you can't. The thing is, right, people can say all they want that England had an easy group. Croatia were World Cup finalists 2 years ago.
Yep.
That was our first game. We then play a local derby against Scotland, which a derby game is anything, which proved. And we then played a Czech Republic side that internationally last beat us. So it isn't I said to you, didn't I, before the tournament, that we didn't have an easy group. Honestly, I thought we had one of the harder groups, if I'm being honest, because I think all of them sides, like, look, Czech Republic got to the quarterfinals. Like, I think with the group, an easy group.
I think with the group, to be honest, for me, I think the group was possibly a bit harder on paper than what it actually become, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
Because we had, like you said, we had there was us, there was Croatia, who, runners up in the World Cup, Scotland, which is Scotland, and then we had Czech Republic, who, let's be real, I think most people would have finished fourth in the group. Be real here. Croatia got what was it? 1 point after 2 games. I thought Scotland would have beaten Czech Republic. They didn't. And then Czech Republic ended up, I think they finished third in the group, but they were through after the second game anyway. So if anything, Croatia and Scotland made the group a little bit more easier, because I think us and Czech Republic were through. And then it was just one of the last two in that final game finishing third to go through. So I think that the group actually got a bit easier after the first couple of games were played, and it was actually harder on paper before the tournament commenced. But before we carry on, there's comments I do want to just shout them out quickly. Dex, I put this one up earlier, but he said, fair play to Southgate. As to be honest, I was doubting him at the start of Euros, as a lot of people would, to be fair. proving me wrong. Glad he is. I'd have to agree. I thought it's Southgate the one. I said he has to be very careful this Euros because he's got a very talented group of players. So he has to make sure he gets it pretty much spot on. And I said, for me, with the group of players he's got, no matter who you play, you've got to get to a semi-final with this group of players. He's done that. So, fair play to the lad. Jay Hobbs is in what's a combined England 11 of the 20th century. We'll come to that a bit later on because we can't just rattle that off the top of our heads. We might save that to the end. Jack Murray said already history makers first team to get 5 clean sheets in the first 5 games, which is true. That's mental. And I think, what was it? The last time that happened was 66. But we're breaking records. And the last time they happened was 66. So, everything's going in the right direction for this tournament. And, with Southgate, I think the jury was out before the tournament, but now he's proven us all wrong. Starting that first game with Rice and Phillips, playing Sterling, it was like, really, but they've all proved us wrong. And he has to take credit for that because he's shown belief in players, and they've done well. They've pulled through when we needed them to pull through. With Kane, it possibly. I mean, forget the fact Kane was our captain. It might have been easy for him to say, "Look, we'll rest you for." We'll not rest you. We'll drop you because we've got better players who could maybe come in and get a goal. He stuck with him, like I think everyone should have stuck with Kane, and he scored against Germany. He scored 2 against Ukraine now, and he's on fire. He's on absolute flame. So you got to give credit where credit's due to Southgate, and I thought I can't really fault him this tournament. Maybe the Scotland game, could he have brought a few more attacking players on earlier? Because we've seen how Scotland play. They're only going to sit back and hit us on the break. So maybe did it need another attacking player on to, just free up something? But apart from that, you can't really say a bad word about him, can you?
No, I think I'd sort of personally describe the groups as a bit underwhelming.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and lie. I think I was very critical of us in the groups because despite us being so good defensively, I did think that going forward we lacked a lot of creativity.
Well, let's be real here.
But the
Let's be
thing
real.
is,
If England had lost to Germany in that round of 16 game, and all we had from our tournament now was the group games and that, we would have looked back on it and said we didn't really turn up at this tournament.
I think that Germany result was massive because I think we've seen that in the last 2 games we've grew into this tournament, and that's one thing that the best teams do, and the teams that win it do. They grow into a tournament, and no one can sit here and lie and say that they found the first 3 games really entertaining. It was boring football to get us through, and we did the job in the groups. We did what we had to do, and look, the 2 games that we've had to turn it on for, we've put 6 past our opposition in 2 matches, and we haven't conceded a single goal. So, in terms of levels of turning it on, I definitely think that Southgate has done brilliant in almost like conserving the energy of the players so cleverly, like just playing a system that almost you just don't lose, but bringing on them little moments, them players that have their moments of creativity who get you over the line, and then you start playing your real football in the knockout stages. Because for me, that Ukraine performance, honestly, I mean, I'm surprised Ukraine haven't contacted any Ukrainian abuse centres or something for a performance like that, because they got absolutely hounded in Rome. I mean, people saying that England can't play in heat. Jesus, it was like 30 degrees and we just absolutely wiped the floor with them. We could have been on a tanning bed with 15 minutes to go with all of them 11 players sat there.
I didn't realise how early we went 4-0 up. We were 4-0 up with 65 minutes
Mate,
played. We still had another 25 to play.
It was actually mental, but I think one person that I have to give a special mention to, because I think Jose Mourinho now has to put his ego aside. I think he has to put his agenda aside for Luke Shaw, because I personally think, based on this tournament, Luke Shaw has been our best player, and I think he's the best left back in the world. I genuinely do. He is
I said this earlier.
unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. I think people that, and it hurts me to say this, honestly, it hurts me because he obviously plays for Man United, but I couldn't care who he played for because
Mm,
the development of that guy in such a short space of time, he's gone from being a castaway at United and everyone saying that he's terrible to literally the best left back in the world. Like, I actually can't believe how good he is. He never gives the ball away. He's so strong. He's so powerful. That ball for Sterling. Oh my God. That ball for Sterling in the Germany game. Sensational. And then the two
mm,
assists that he got in the Ukraine game, on the money every time. It's just when you're in form like he is, and when you're at the top of
yeah.
your game, everything just falls into place for you. And Luke Shaw has just been, for me, an absolute breath of fresh air. I think he has offered us such an attacking outlet, and we look such a better team with him on that left hand side because he's proved that he's got it defensively because we haven't conceded a
Hmm.
goal. But what he offers us is an outlet on the left hand side. And his link up with Grealish in that 25 minutes in the Germany game was something I've never seen before. They honestly look like they've played together for like 10 years. They just knew where each other was. Grealish didn't even have to
Hmm.
look play Luke Shaw down that left hand side because he knew he'd be there. Straight away, boom, crossing, Sterling scores. I genuinely think that Mourinho needs to offer Shaw a public apology because to hammer him as much as he has, I think I think it's ridiculous that even still to this day he still tries to deny that Luke Shaw is a great player and
Yeah.
he should be doing more. Like, go away, man. Actually, put your agenda aside, mate. We get it that you don't like him. We get it that you probably had a bad experience with him at Man United. Ollie has turned him into just a world class left back. And it's about time that people open their eyes and actually saw Luke Shaw for what he is. And he has been England's best player at this tournament. Change my mind. Tell me someone that has been more consistent, offered so much to us to how we've been in this tournament. I don't think you can offer me someone that even comes close. Maybe Sterling, because
Mm.
Sterling has contributed goals wise. I'd say him and Sterling are probably the two candidates that you'd throw forward. But even with Sterling, I think Sterling's performances haven't been great. I think he's
Yeah.
produced individual moments of brilliance throughout the tournament. I think since that Scotland game that Luke Shaw got started, performance, productivity, application, discipline, everything has just been top draw. And I think only people that have played in the defensive position will actually appreciate that. Because as much
Mm.
as it's important, bloody scoring the goals to get you through, you need someone who offers both a threat for scoring the goals from a defensive position, as well as keeping them out at the other end. Like, let's not forget here that Luke Shaw was the one that made the last ditch header when it was 0-0 against Ukraine at the back stick, or
Hmm.
1-0, sorry, when Yarmolenko was literally free at the back post and Luke Shaw flung his body at it. Like, for me, that's like a goal. When he did that,
Oh
I
yeah.
thought he's literally just scored a goal for us because that is a certain goal if Yarmolenko's free at the back stick like that.
Do you know what the fit like? I completely agree with Luke Shaw, and as a Man United fan, it's been unbelievable to see how he's come on under Ollie, and Ollie deserves a lot of credit, for getting him back to the player he once was. But the one problem I have with Luke Shaw is, and I don't want to say it, but I'm always scared he's going to pick up another injury, if that makes sense. And
Yeah.
you know, that's the one thing I just hope. I hope he doesn't. I don't wish any injuries on any players, and especially not ones that play for United or England. But there's always that thing with me and Luke Shaw where he had that little injury at the beginning of last season. Tellez had to come in for the team for a little bit, so luckily it wasn't too long term. But I always feel is there still like a little worry there? But obviously, he's full flowing. He's getting assists. He's defending. He is, it's Roberto Carlos, and there's nothing you can do about it. He is, like you said, it was refreshing today. We did a live today earlier on TikTok, and there's Liverpool fans coming in, and there's whatever fans from different clubs coming in, and they're all saying, Luke Shaw. I said Luke Shaw's the best left back in the world, and they're saying that as well as England fans. They're saying he's the best left back in the world, and yes, you could say maybe Robertson could be better than him, but Robertson isn't that good at the minute. Luke Shaw is the best left back in the world, and it's taken him a while, but he is. And I can't see any left back which offers what he did. I mean, I thought when Bayern won the Champions League and the league and etc., I've never seen a left back like Alphonso Davies tear teams apart and get as many assists as he did, especially against Barcelona and against Chelsea, against teams like that. And I'm not saying Luke Shaw's doing anything close to that, but you have to look on current form, and Luke Shaw for me is doing everything that a left back needs to do and more. There's not much more that bloke could do apart from score, to be honest. In the games, he's getting assists, he's getting clean sheets, he's defending, free kicks, corners. He's doing everything. And like you said, him playing with Grealish and playing with Kane and with Sterling and with them players around him, he's just clicked. He's clicked with them players, and that's a good thing to see with the England squad. Is all the players seem to have clicked, and I think that's why we're doing so well. If you look at any of the England content, everyone just gets on so well, and I think that's put us in great stead this tournament. And there's been so many standout players: Luke Shaw, Pickford, Maguire coming back in, Rice, Phillips, Sterling, Kane's coming back in now. All the players that have come on or started, the odd game and played well. The list could go on. Jude Bellingham coming on at 17, 18 years of age in a European Championships and just, coming on and still playing well. It's all these different things are all doing well for England. And like I said, we got a massive semi-final on Wednesday, and then fingers crossed we get to a final. So just to wrap up on the England side of it, I think you said earlier, we'll probably go back 5, won't we, against Denmark. I wouldn't be shocked, and I definitely wouldn't throw my hands in the air if I seen that. You'd fully understand it. What's your score prediction? What is your score prediction for Wednesday night? Because for me, I'll say mine straight away. I would absolutely love to keep a clean sheet, but I don't think we will, and I think we'll win 2-1. That's my prediction.
England 1, Denmark 0.
Oh, I love that. See, I'm positive that we're going to win. You're even more positive, thinking we're going to keep a clean sheet, and I love that. I love it.
I think Harry Kane will score, and I think he'll be set up either by Sterling or Grealish. I think Grealish will come on with 25, 30 minutes to go, and he'll create something out of nothing and get Kane a goal. I'd love to see us get an early goal because I think it would just control the whole flow of the game. I just think, obviously, look, we haven't seen this England side, coming back from 1-0 down and what character they've got. We need to, this is the game where we have to be solid defensively. Like, no mistakes from Kyle Walker, no silly mistakes, because he has been accustomed to that this tournament so far. But yeah, look, 1-0. I don't think.
Oh, mate, I'd love another clean sheet, and that'd be 6 games in a row with a final to go. That would be ridiculous. There's no other word.
No one has ever. I looked this up the other day. No one has ever won the Euros not conceding a goal as well. So there's that as well.
That'd be utterly immense if we kept clean sheets all the way through and won. It would be like I can't even imagine it. It'd be that mental. It'd be that mental. But yeah, we're gonna move on from England, and Morgan, you probably know what's coming next. But I'm sorry, it's been a year in the works. It's been over a year in the works. It's been like a year and a half, 2 years.
Do you know? I'm I'm hoping if we talk about your transfer business, that will also cover ours because we
Oh,
made a very good signing at the start of the window, and I'm hoping that that doesn't sort of go under the carpet. But well, I guess we'll talk about your man first.
I mean, of course, I'm not just. Look, are we a Man United channel? No, we're all inclusive here. We got a Villa fan on here. We always talk. Maybe we do the transfer shows. In January we're talking about any club, but I've got to have me moment because when I seen it come through, I was borderline tearing up. Jadon Sancho is a red devil. Woo! Oh, talk to me.
It's a big transfer. It's a very big transfer. Look, I think United's prospect, in a few years is very promising. You're looking at Mason Greenwood coming into his prime, developing a lot more. Rashford coming into his prime. Now Sancho, it's a good look at United. Especially with three young English players beginning to, enter the primes of their career. The one thing that I do question with the transfer, I will be honest, is he needed? Because for me, Greenwood in the next 2 or 3 years, I think when he's developed, will be United's number 9. At the moment, he's not good enough to be a number 9. So I think personally, United need to prioritise a number 9 for me. I think they still need to bring in a number 9 and a holding midfielder. I think you need someone that is a cross between McTominay and Fred. I think you need a hybrid of those so you don't have to play those constantly in a big game because it'd potentially allow you to play someone like Donny van de Beek, a lot higher up, and go a little bit more attacking for teams, in big games because I think that's one thing that United really let themselves down on last season. I think in the big games, attacking wise, they didn't offer enough. And it was almost as if the game was there for United, but they didn't have enough to put it over the line. But I think Sancho coming in, I mean, his name on the team sheet installs a fear factor into any team, to be honest. And, look at the talent that he showed in that Ukraine game. The guy has got levels to go. I think it's a fantastic signing for both, United and Dortmund. I think it was the right time to move him on. They have had to get less money because United were going to have to pay more last year. But look, I think it's a phenomenal signing. And, Greenwood in the next 2 or 3 years developing at the rate that he is. What a prospect. What a prospect that could be. Greenwood, Rashford and Sancho in their primes. And I think Sancho is going to come back to England hungry. He went back. He went off to Germany, brave as ever. He was one of the first big name players to go and do it. He's made a name for himself. He's got a point to prove. He's coming back to this Premier League with unfinished business. Pep Guardiola didn't want him, didn't rate him, would rather him go out abroad. He needs to prove Pep Guardiola wrong, and you couldn't do that any better by going and lifting the Premier League trophy in your first season and having a massive contribution towards it. So, look, I think this is a brilliant signing for United, and I'm hoping for his sake that he gets his season off and running as soon as he gets to United. I don't think settling in will be an issue either because a lot of the lads there are English and he's played with and against them before. So, look, I think it's only a positive sign for Man United, and a fantastic deal and a deal with ambition. I would describe it as an ambitious deal to close that gap and potentially mount a title charge next season because I think it's going to be a really interesting title race this year.
Agreed, man. I think you look at there's so many teams that are around that top 4, top 6 who could mount a title race, and if they have the right windows, could be up there. And I'll be honest, I'm just happy the saga is over. And the thing that surprised me the most is it's been done so quickly. Like I didn't expect anything to be agreed during the Euros. I expected it to be done after the Euros, but it's been done during it. I think that shows United's willingness to get this done and then move on. because we need other areas to strengthen in. And yeah, the saga's over. 90% Club by Mark Goldbridge. Fabrizio saying it's closer than ever. It's closer than close. It's almost done. You're 5 million away. You're 10 million away, or whatever. You just got to work on the add-ons. It's done. It is done. And I'm just over the moon because we haven't had a right winger. I've been saying this for a while now. Greenwood's been playing out there, like you said. He is a number 9, and United will mould him into that number 9 position. And it's a frightening prospect. You look at the likes of United next season having Sancho, Rashford, Cavani, Greenwood, Ahmad, Dan James. I may have missed a couple of players out. That's how ridiculous it is. Alanga, whatever happens with him, because he had a bit of a cameo come the end of the season. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely bonkers the amount of talent and potential we can have in and around that front four, or that front three. I'm just happy because we haven't had a right winger. He's English as well, which I know isn't a be all and end all if they're English or not. But it's always nice to be signing an Englishman because he's going to be representing your country as well as your club. And a thought is that could you imagine England's future front three being Rashford, Greenwood, and Sancho? That's the other prospect as well of something that could happen. So, it's a fantastic move. And if anything, United have done well. They've got him for less than what they would have done last year. As you can see going across the screen at the bottom, £77 million. That's including add-ons. That's only 5 million more than what Arsenal paid for Pepe, if I'm correct. Bonkers, absolutely bonkers in my opinion. Obviously, he's still got medicals to go, but he's with England, so that's not going to be done. But I'm just buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing. United have got it done. It's over the line. It's done early doors as well. I'll just read out the couple of things going across. So from Romano said, you can see at the bottom, 90 million euros, which is £77 million with add-ons, agent fees and personal terms agreed, contract until 2026, medicals pending, then it'll be official. Man United's official website said, Man United's delighted to announce it has reached an agreement in principle with Borussia Dortmund for the transfer of Jadon Sancho. The signing is subject to contractual terms, I hope I said that right, and a medical, which will be completed after Jadon's involvement in the UEFA European Championships, and that's from Man United. I'm just buzzing because it's a marquee signing, it is, and it's something we've been crying out for as a right winger. And I'd argue in hindsight, and hindsight's a wonderful thing, with a lot of the top 6 games we had last season where we drew 0-0, if we had Jadon Sancho, could he have won us them games? Could he have created that chance and won us, or maybe, got us a few more points from that game? Got 3 points against Chelsea maybe a couple of times, or whatever. And hindsight is a wonderful thing, I know, but I'm just buzzing. It's over the line. Jadon Sancho will be playing for Man United next season, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see him play because what a player! What a player! And I think United have been after him since he left City in 2017. I think that's how long they've had him on his radar, and people who knew him and watched him when he was at City playing against United's youth teams have known that he caused absolute mayhem to United youth team defences. So it's buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing. He's a Red Devil, and you absolutely love to see it. And the thing I like as well, just sort of to wrap up on the United thing, is we're not stopping. And we're linked with Varane. I don't know how close it is because, for me, there's always that fear he'll just sign a new deal at Madrid. But we're linked with Varane. Camavinga talk. There's a lot of players still being floated around. And, it's a great prospect at the minute. The United are just doing lots and lots of different things to try and get the players in and close the gap.
Can't disagree, mate. Can't disagree.
But anyway, enough of United because, like I said, we're not a United channel. So about your boys, Emi Buendia and Ashley Young are back. Well, not both back. Ashley Young's back. Thoughts?
Emi Buendia is going to be a fantastic signing. I cannot wait to see this man put on our shirt, playing with Jack Grealish and Ollie Watkins is going to be disgusting next season.
Can I ask you a question?
Go on.
Can you make a promise to me, as a Villa fan? As a Villa fan.
Yeah, I've run it.
Depends what it is, but go on.
Can you promise me you won't sell Jack Grealish to City so I can see these two play with each other, with Watkins and with Traore?
So people that think that Jack Grealish is going Man City, wake up. Just wake up. Because that guy is not leaving our club. I will honestly put any sum of money on the line to confirm to you that he is not leaving. Villa are already in contract negotiations to agree another extended deal with him. Villa have literally said he is not for sale, and with the ambition that we've got as a club, Jack Grealish will not be leaving that club. And signing players like Emi Buendia and being linked with Smith Rowe, going in for a third bid for him, James Ward-Prowse. This ownership are ambitious, and we are this season going to be challenging for Europe. I'm absolutely certain of it. So keeping Grealish is obviously influential to that, and I just can't wait. I honestly can't wait to see a full Villa Park, and I'm going to try as hard as I can to go to games next season, because the prospect of watching Buendia through the middle potentially, Grealish on the left, Traore on the right, Watkins up front, or even El Ghazi on the right, it is frightening. And the team that we are building now, I think Ashley Young's a cracking signing as well. He's just won the Calcio A with Inter. We've just lost Neil Taylor and El Mohammadi, to them pretty much retiring / their contracts running out. Ashley Young can play both left back, right back. He can also play left wing, right wing. He's a versatile player that is very similar to like a Cavani for United. He'll come in and just do a brilliant job. And I think it's such
as well.
Exactly. I think it's such clever business from us. I really do. I think it's a fantastic signing, not only commercially, Young coming back to Villa, the glory times, Martin O'Neill. He's a name that someone like Jack Grealish would have been born and growing up idolising. And to have him in the dressing room, because Elmo and Tails were big characters for sure, it's brilliant to bring someone back like that. But I'm so excited about Emi Buendia. And
does this put, like, before you carry on, you beat Arsenal to Emi Buendia. Like, how much? Like,
that's what I was going to talk about.
I'm gonna be honest. I would be very, 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 very shocked if you signed Smith Rowe for Rum. I'd be very shocked if you signed Smith Rowe, because I think him and Saka have been their two best players last season. They're going to want to hold on to them and build around them. I think Smith Rowe, I don't know much about him, but I'd imagine he's an Arsenal fan, going through the academy, he loves the club, etc., etc. So I'd be very shocked if you got Smith Rowe. But does this solidify, how much in the mud Arsenal are at the minute? The fact you've nabbed Buendia, who they were, let's be real, they were chasing in January because they couldn't get an attacking midfielder. Then they were getting Odegaard in. They got a bit lucky then because that situation panned out the way it did. But you beat Arsenal to Emi Buendia. That's mental.
I think people need to realise that, Villa used to be a massive club, and I think people almost look at us with a glass eye because of, recent history especially. But the prospect as a club that we have arguably the most thriving youth academy in England, having ridiculous talent come through our system. The players that we are producing to feed our first team in the future is, the future of the club, and the plan that the owners offer a player are so much more enticing and engaging than what Arsenal can offer. It's a no-brainer. It is a no-brainer. If Villa come in for you over Arsenal, you're going Villa. You are going to Villa. Arsenal are not the metropolis that they used to be. They don't play the attractive football that they used to. They don't have the attractive squad. Who in the Arsenal squad, apart from potentially Saka and Smith Rowe, do you go, I want to play with him every week? None of them. None of them. We have a pulling power, and his name's Jack Grealish. Don't tell me that no player coming to the Premier League would not want to play with him going forward. Buendia would have looked at it and gone, who would I rather have set my chances up for me? Jack Grealish or Bukayo Saka? Jack Grealish or Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang? And I think the answer would have been quite simple for both times. I think we wouldn't have signed Emi Buendia, and I don't think Buendia would have joined us unless there was a guarantee that Grealish was staying also. Yeah. Which is another thing that fills me with massive confidence, because I don't think Buendia would have signed for Villa if Grealish would have gone. I think he probably would have gone Arsenal. But the way Arsenal fans have talked down Villa, I think is so embarrassing. This club, we took 6 points off them last season. We outplayed them home and away, and they have the audacity to try and call out Villa fans and Villa as a club and say that we should not be losing a race. Get real. This is the time where Arsenal need to wake up. Someone needs to pour water in the faces of all of their fans and go, you're not the club that you once were. You're not massive anymore. You're not a top 6 club. You're not attractive to go to. Get real. Because for me, Everton are a more attractive proposition. Villa, even Leeds. I'd rather go Leeds United than go Arsenal. I'd rather be managed by Marcelo Bielsa, who is an absolute footballing genius. And I think if you understand the tactical side of the game, I think you'd understand why Arsenal are less attractive than Leeds to go to. I'm sorry if there are any Arsenal fans in the chat or listening tonight, but you need to get real as a fan base. You're not a big club anymore. You're not, because it's a hard situation, because Arsenal are in demise from their ownership. They are what Villa.
The thing is, though, I also think they're possibly recruiting a bit poorly as well. Because let's be real here.
Oh, their recruitment has been shocking.
It's been shocking, but I'm talking about this summer. Like the one player I've really seen them linked with, which could possibly go through, is Ben White. And they're going to spend 50 million on Ben White. And let's be real here. Ben White's a good defender. He's in the England squad, and he's done well for Brighton. Is Ben White, firstly, worth 50 million? And secondly, when you see the likes of Man United possibly signing the likes of Varane for 50 million, does that not also put it in perspective that are they even going for the right type of players that can help them get back to top? I mean, Ben White, good player, and I'm not saying he won't make the step up to Arsenal, because Brighton, unfortunately, is one of the very few clubs where moving to Arsenal would be a step up, in my opinion. Like, very few clubs. So Ben White's gone from Peterborough loan, Leeds loan, Brighton first season where they finished, I can't remember now, but probably would have been about 15th or something.
15th, 16th.
Yeah, around there, to Arsenal. Now, is that the right player? And secondly, is that the right 50 million to spend on the player? Because if you are going to get the budget like they did with Pepe, the 70-odd million, are they going to use it wise enough? I mean, like I said earlier, 5 million more, we got Sancho. And I know it's 2 years down the road, but still.
I think Arsenal are in a very, very, very dangerous place. And look, Leeds and Aston Villa, 2 clubs that were as big as Arsenal a decade ago, and we had to go through a demise. Leeds were absolutely huge. Villa have won the European Cup, for God's sake. That's something Arsenal have never done. So we as a fan base, and I know I wasn't alive to watch most of our demise, but I was there for the back end of our demise. You're going to experience lows, and Arsenal fans feel entitled to top 6 football. You're not entitled to anything in modern day football, because the standard of the Premier League's going like that, and the standard of Arsenal's going like that. and soon there'll be a meet in between, and that will end up getting Arsenal relegated. If Stan Kroenke remains at Arsenal, I honestly think in the next 10 years that they could even get relegated because their recruitment is just appalling. Absolutely appalling. Selling Emmy
50
Martinez,
million for Ben White. Like, come on.
selling selling Emmy Martinez to Aston Villa, who kept one less clean sheet than Manchester City last season, when Villa kept 2 clean sheets in the entirety of last season, to give Villa your goalkeeper and think Villa are shite. They ain't going to go anywhere near us next season. They're terrible. We'll be all right. Let's give them Emmy Martinez, eh? Oh, wait, we sold our best goalkeeper. Oh, wait, Villa beat us twice last season. Oh, wait, they've just beaten us to Emi Buendia. Oh, wait, we're not a big club anymore. Like, when is that realisation? When when are the Arsenal board? And I'm not trying to attack Arsenal fans. The Arsenal board need to wake up. I feel sorry for you because your owner is like when we had Randy Lerner. It only took him until we got relegated and it slapped him in the face financially for him to wake up and leave. And I think Arsenal need a massive rebuild because at the
Oh,
moment, and I've said it for ages, it is healing axe wounds with plasters. Bringing in Ben White is not going to turn you into a top 6 club. Ben White is a good player, but what Arsenal need is a squad of good players. Arsenal literally need a new squad. They need to invest in their youth academy and almost sacrifice the next two
but
or three
let's be real
seasons.
here. Let's be real here. Ben White, okay. Arsenal are gonna have limited budget anyway. Let's be real. There's the Cronkies. They're gonna have limited budget. Let's say at best 100. At best 100. So for half of that on Ben White, no. If you're signing Ben White for 15, 20, 25 million, fair enough. That's never going to happen now because he's playing for England. But if they were doing something like that, fair enough, I'd back that. If you were to spend half your budget on a player like Ben White, which I completely agree with you, he may improve you a little bit, but he's not going to improve you massively. Like, for example, I don't think he'd have the influence Maguire's had on United. So so that's half your money. You got 50 million now to try and get better midfielders, better attackers. Good luck.
It's yeah, it's a ridiculously poor situation at Arsenal. But to be honest with you, like just to finish on it, because I've got to shoot off. I think with Villa, Buendia is a massive signing because people don't people don't forget Buendia actually when he was in the Premier League. I've heard a few people go, Arsenal fans typical sticking their nose up at the fact that Villa have beaten them and being a bit salty about it and going, we didn't need Buendia anyway, not that great a player. The guy assisted and created more chances than Grealish did in his first season in the Premier League, playing for Norwich, not playing for Man United, not playing for Man City. He played for Norwich and he created, I think it was 83 chances in the season. We are going to be a lethal outlet next year. And looking at our running, we've got to be confident that we can really cement a top 6 finish this season. Having Watford away, Newcastle at home, and Brentford at home in our first 3 games. If we can get James Ward-Prowse and Smith Rowe over the line, because Villa are going in for a third bid with Smith Rowe, and there is no way that we are giving up on him, and he hasn't signed a new deal at Arsenal, there's something in that, because Villa won't go back a third if
that's interesting.
they weren't confident that they're going to get an agreement of some sort. And I think the whole Arsenal fan base will go into absolute meltdown if we take Smith Rowe off them. I think that will literally be it. honestly, I think there'll be riots outside that stadium if they give if they give Emil Smith Rowe to us. But look, Villa have smashed it so far in the transfer window. I'm really looking forward to the next, month or so. I think we could see a few more incomings at Villa. I think Grealish is only going to stay, if I'm being honest now, if he's getting given the resources.
Yeah.
I think this is definitely a season that we're going to build on next. I think we've built from the back very well. We now need to add the attacking creativity along with what we've got. But bring in what I like before I go. What I like is that we're bringing in Premier League proven quality. We've brought in Emi Buendia, who's played in the league before. We've brought in Ashley Young, who spent many seasons in the league. Smith Rowe, Ward-Prowse, players we're linked with are Premier League experienced and Premier League proven quality. And that's how I like that we're operating. Yeah, we might have to pay a bit more for them, but we're operating well.
Yeah, no, we're gonna finish up in a bit anyway, and I appreciate you hopping on, mate. Just to finish up on, you mentioned a few names there with United. This transfer window and etc. It's a centre back next for me. It's Varane. It's a CDM, maybe Camavinga or whatever. But they're the two positions. I think right back you'd be a right. Just keep hold of Delon. That's your different option. I think you can offer what Trippier does going forward. So if you want to save a bit of money, just do that. So for me, it's a Varane and maybe a Camavinga. For Villa, I mean, you're giving us. You say Martinez is your best keeper. You're giving us your best keeper in Tom Eaton, aren't you? But going back to Villa. What you mentioned, Ward-Prowse, you mentioned Smith Rowe. What are the areas Villa still need to strengthen in? And if it sounds like it's central midfield, there is Ward-Prowse and Smith Rowe. Firstly, are they close? And secondly, what's like the probability you think they're going to happen? Because for me and Varane, I think you're probably looking at a 6 or 7 for Varane. Camavinga maybe a 6 or 7 as well. I think they could be close, but I think they could both take drastic turns. What's the feeling around Villa incoming? Who are you looking at? What are the areas you need to bring in? And is anything possible or close at this moment in time?
We need a cross between. We definitely need a cross between Douglas Luiz and Nakamba. We need a holding midfielder with the ball playing ability of Douglas Luiz and the engine of Nakamba. I think that is a given. We need a number 10, so I think Smith Rowe would be perfect because I imagine that Buendia is going to be playing on the right if we can get a 10 through the door. And I think Ward-Prowse, a player like Ward-Prowse and 8, who, can come in, give McGinn as well a bit of a rest because he does get overplayed an awful lot. And, Ward-Prowse with the set piece delivery that he's got and Grealish winning the free kicks. It'd be a cheat code next season, but apparently Southampton have said no with Ward-Prowse and they're not even willing to negotiate. But I think Villa are trying to work their ways around that one. Smith Rowe, third bid's gone in today, so we'll obviously see what happens with that. But Villa will not be quiet in this transfer window. I think we'll see a lot more incomings at the club, but good start to the window for us.
Definitely be interested to see what happens with Villa. We definitely want to keep an eye on. Before we finish, we got another comment in. Football's coming home. All seriousness, take Smith Rowe and Buendia off Arsenal. So there you go. We're trying. I honestly, mate, for your sake as well, I'd love to see Villa get the likes of Ward-Prowse, likes of Smith Rowe, and really, not go for it, but you know what I mean. Really, have a bit of it next season and take these big players off of. I say big clubs, but Ward-Prowse to Southampton, like you said, is a gem to him, and Smith Rowe to Arsenal at the minute. Him and Saka are the only ones keeping them Arsenal fans sane. So, I'd love to see you get both of them players in and see how you do next season. And yeah, I'd be interested to see what happens with Villa and of course United as well in terms of the incomings. But we're going to wrap up there, Morgan. I appreciate your time, mate. I know we've run over a little bit than an hour, but appreciate your time as always. And if you're new, drop us a sub. Make sure you follow us on TikTok. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Drop a like. Happy days. We'll see you.